about this because we all have to be a little bit more healthy about our our digital intake.
Yes.
It's pretty, it's pervasive. We're on our phones all the time.
It is. And so with the start of a new year, I want us to all think about new habits. A lot of us focus a lot on our health during the start of a new year. So I want you to think about how much you're consuming your technology. I'm going to argue that it's probably more than you consume your healthy food, your 8 glasses of water a day, your exercise, and so forth. So it's really about becoming mindful on how we're consuming our technology and making sure that it's working for us and not against us. You know, gone are the days when we used to use a rotary phone or look for information in an encyclopedia. You and I, especially our generation, has grown up in what is called the digital revolution. And so adopting the internet and all of that, not only do we have to make sure that we're using it the right way, but also that we're equipping our future generation for that as well.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and I'm like the worst example. The only thing I do right is I still read books, but I'm like addicted like everyone else, and it's brutal. So, what do you say we need to start thinking about when it comes to digital wellness?
Okay, so tip number 1, I want to talk a little bit about that addiction. 50% of young adults, our kids, our teens, are saying exactly what you just said. They're addicted to their technology. They can't put it down. So the first tip is doing exactly that. It's the most common sense thing, yet the hardest thing to do, which is to physically
put it down,
separate from the phone.
And not here, because you're going to be doing this the whole time.
Exactly, because those notifications are there to tempt you to pick up your phone. And so we've trained ourselves how to do that constantly, and it's getting in the way of our productivity. So when it comes to that addiction, it's being said that it's resulting in things like lack of productivity, lack of focus, disturbed sleep, and just overall general habits, and insecurity as well, because we're not getting the things done that we need to, and it's also affecting our confidence. So we have to physically put the phone away when it's time to be productive and focus on our tasks at hand.
The doom scrolling, the lack of empathy, all of that stuff, brutal, and you don't want to be connecting with that all the time. You want to be connecting with the good stuff.
Definitely.
So let's talk about daily limits for screen time.
For sure. Okay, so when it comes to that picking up the phone all the time, consuming all of that information, we are overstimulated. So we need to make sure that we're taking those digital breaks. You know, we talk about screen time for the kids, but we also need to control our own personal screen time. So using our do not disturb, you know, setting our push notifications, turning them off are all great ways to start. So once again, when you have to focus on something, you're doing that, but also taking the digital breaks where you're getting out in nature. You know, during COVID, we realized the effects of getting out and exploring and taking that quiet time just for ourselves are exactly what you do. Read a book, have a conversation with someone where the phone is not on the table. Make sure that we're taking those breaks when we need to.
Absolutely. My husband calls this a case of the tail wagging the dog. So it used to be we were using and interacting with digital because it was fun and it was fast and it was efficient, but now we're almost in a situation where we have to be on it.
Correct.
And that's when it starts getting scary.
Absolutely.
You shouldn't have to be doing anything. Any kind of an addiction is a bad thing. You say if you're treating this with a healthy vigilance, we kind of have to be a little bit skeptical.
Definitely.
And what is that? What do you mean by that?
So think about how much information you're consuming online at all times, whether you're at work or you're scrolling through the internet or on social media. We have to make sure that we're developing a healthy skepticism when it comes to the websites we're visiting, the information we're liking, even the ads that we're clicking into. Is it just clickbait? You know, are those ads a little bit too good to be true? I'm always going to say they are. And Tracy, especially in the world of filtered images and a curated life online, we have to know the difference between what is real and what is fake. We really need to go into this having those conversations with ourselves and with the people that we're influencing.
And definitely with our kids as well, right?
Absolutely.
They need to understand that. They need to have a literacy, and just like they do for legacy media, they need to have it for digital media.
100%.
Or they're not gonna make it through with their self-esteem intact. Talk about being a good digital citizen. What does that mean?
Okay, so being a digital citizen basically refers to your digital footprint online. How are you showing up for yourself, and how are you showing up for others?
Yeah.
Are you being empathetic? You know, you touched on this a little earlier. How are you connecting with others? How are you building those relationships?
Right.
It's important to know that anything that you put online is forever and it's permanent. You always have to think about, before you post, do you want to post it?
Yeah.
So ask yourself these questions. Is it truthful? Is it kind? Is what you're saying something that you would say to somebody's face, especially when we're commenting
That's a
on
big
other
one.
people's feed?
Yeah.
You know, is this something that you could potentially regret in the future? And if you're feeling a little bit weird about that, then I'm going to say sleep on it. As well as, once again, are you being empathetic? So
Yeah.
always be sure that whatever you're posting is useful to someone else. You're using it for good. That's really what I want to hone in on,
Yeah.
is just having healthy habits in a big way when it comes to your just overall footprint.
Can you imagine that there are a bunch of people just getting on here to argue?
Oh, listen.
How is that fun?
I'm telling you.
I'm just going to jump on and be mad.
Absolutely. And it's
Right?
happening so much more. You know, we're just scratching the surface
Yeah.
on what digital wellness and digital citizenship means.
Yeah.
But these are huge topics that we have to have deeper conversations around.
Yeah, and we'll continue the conversation here for sure. Anything else you want to tell us? We've got a little bit of time left.
Definitely. So even when it comes to social media, I know a lot of times we focus on the fact that it can be a bit of a negative and a scary place.
Be a dumpster fire.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it can also be a great thing. So focus on the fact that you can, you know, focus on your passions on social
Yeah.
media. You can build a business.
Yeah.
You can connect with others and build great friendships. Just always make sure that whatever it is that you're liking or you're tapping, that the algorithm knows that that's what's going to feed you. Again, it's about feeding yourself those wholesome foods
Yeah.
instead of the fast food on the internet.
Totally.
In addition to this, Trace, I always want to focus on your privacy.
Yeah.
So before you post anything, always be cognizant of your surroundings, where you are. Don't give away too much, but also always have a really good password management system.
Oh boy, don't look at me like that.
Password management system.
Right.
And make sure that you're not sharing those passwords with anyone, and you're also telling your younger ones what really good password management looks like as well.
Got it. Lisa, thank you so much.